Hi friends, it's Marcy, your self-proclaimed Disney champion. I am not here to talk about Disney today. It is still closed due to the coronavirus pandemic, but Universal Studios just opened last week on Friday, June 5th. And my husband and I were lucky enough to go this past Tuesday, which was June 9th. It was a completely spur of the moment, probably once in a lifetime trip. It was Monday morning and he was off work for a couple days. And Luke suggested, hey, let's drive to Orlando and go to Universal. And I was like, okay. So we got in the car 2 hours later, drove all through the night, got to Universal with about 3 hours of sleep, but we did it. Today I'm going to tell you a couple of the things I noticed, a lot of frequently asked questions I've seen from people who are wanting to get back to theme parks, but should be aware that it is a lot different than it was pre-pandemic. So I'm going to tell you what it was like, what I think, and the ultimate question, is it worth it? All right, so I'm just gonna start with the masks. I feel like that's everyone's biggest concern. What is it like wearing a mask at a theme park? You could guess, it was hot. It was 95 degrees the day we were there. It's Florida in June, yep, but honestly, I feel like I would be hot whether I was in the mask or not. Before we went to the parks, I made like all the cutesy like cloth masks with the fun fabrics on them that had the cool patterns, and they were super cute and but they were really hot. So we decided for our trip, since it was very last minute, to go with these bad boys. They're lightweight, they fit nicely, they stayed on. We had them on for all the big rides, masks never fell off. So I really liked these. They're not the cutest masks, but they were lightweight. I didn't feel extra hot in them. I think that they were a good choice. However, Universal is selling these cloth masks. We did like a 3 for $15 deal. They're just cloth, one layer, very lightweight, easy to put on. So overall, thoughts on the mask? Yes, they were hot, but I don't think that it's anything that should keep you away. I guess if you have kids, I don't know what that would be like. You'd have to know your child, I guess. But for two millennial adults with 3 hours of sleep, we made it with the mask, so you can do it too. Next, some safety protocols that we noticed that were in place. Number one, you had to get your temperature checked. It was very quick. There was no line at all when we got our temperature taken. The other thing we noticed safety-wise is in the lines, when you're in a queue waiting for an attraction, they have stickers on the floor or markers on the floor that say stand here. They're all 6 feet apart. There were team members to remind you. They came up over the intercom system quite a bit. Another safety protocol we noticed is that before every attraction, you got a squirt of hand sanitizer from a team member. There were also hand sanitizer stations as you left the attractions, but they weren't mandatory or required of you, I guess. You could kind of just get those on your own as you wanted to. So overall safety protocols, I think Universal did a good job. Third talking point, the crowds. So Universal has not officially announced a percentage of the guests that they're allowing in the park. Disney has, even though they haven't opened yet. They said that they will only be allowing between 20 and 30% of the guest capacity in the park during this time. So I would assume Universal's would be around the same, although we don't know for sure. I would say there were definitely areas that were crowded. The Harry Potter world, things like that, had a lot of people there, a lot of traffic. However, I don't think that it was any more crowded than it would be like going to your grocery store or shopping at home. Be kind and respectful, maintain social distancing as best as you can, and just know that those crowded areas are going to have more people just because they are more popular. Besides the Harry Potter areas, the rest of the park was honestly empty. You simply just walked through the queue and got right on the ride, which was amazing. The Harry Potter rides did have a wait, but I would say we didn't wait any more than 20 minutes for anything. I know that Universal's lines don't get as long as Disney's typically do. However, you would think that over the summer months, there would be more than a 20-minute wait for their most popular attractions, but that was definitely the most we waited. 75% of the rides we went on were walk-ons. You just walked right through the queue and got on the ride, and that was nice. Virtual queues. So Universal is offering virtual queues, which means you get on the app, you select the ride you want to ride, the time that you want to ride it. It's kind of like a fast pass for Disney. And I guess Universal has announced that day to day it can change. They have the ability to turn on and off virtual queues as they need to. The day we were there, we did not really need a virtual queue for anything. Just like I said, it was only a 20-minute wait tops for most of the rides. However, Hagrid's Motorbike long name ride, which was amazing, by the way. I'd never ridden it before. That was a good attraction. They were requiring virtual queue because they were not offering standby. The only way you could ride that ride is if you had a virtual queue, kind of similar to Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios at Disney. So when we first got there, we could not get one. It was saying there were no times available. We kept refreshing and we asked a team member, are you guys done with them for the day? Like, you know, what's going on? And they said that they are only releasing a certain number of virtual queues every half hour. So just to keep refreshing them on the hour and on the half hour, then hopefully some would pop up. So we did end up getting a virtual queue pass for Hagrid's around noon. And there were only just a few times to choose from. So I would say if you are going and that's a ride that you really want to ride, which I highly recommend that you do get a virtual queue for that ride, just keep refreshing it, keep looking, because there was no standby. That was the only way you were going to ride the attraction. Overall, with all of that being said, is it worth it to go to a theme park during this pandemic, post-pandemic? Yes, so worth it. It was a spontaneous last-minute trip, which made it exciting to begin with for us. Yes, the masks were hot, but if you can tolerate it, if you take breaks in the AC, drink a lot of water, stay hydrated, it is 100% worth it. It was amazing to walk on to so many attractions so quickly. Also the overall just like atmosphere of the park, people were so like thankful to be there. The team members were so pumped up and excited to be back. I mean, I'm not the biggest Universal fan, like I had a good time, but you know, my heart is with Disney, of course. So it just made me so excited thinking about going back to Disney and what that's gonna be like. Whew! I know it'll be a really special, magical experience. So if these theme parks are something that you're passionate about, and something that's really gotten you through these hard times, just knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and these magical places will still be there, it's a special experience. You decide what do you think's best for you. I'm here to tell you that going to Universal was 100% worth it for me. Hopefully it's something that you're able to do here soon. Experience these low crowds, experience this new normal maybe, who knows. Let me know how your trip goes or if you have any other questions. Thanks!